Haiti and the Dominican Republic are two countries that share the same island of Hispaniola, yet harbor more bitter than agreeable feelings toward each other. This past September, in 2013, the government of the Dominican Republic passed a court decision that stripped all immigrants of foreign descent born after 1929 of citizenship to the DR. The target for this court decision were the Haitian immigrants and their Dominican-born children who migrated across the border in the hopes of better opportunities. But can this recent loss of citizenship be considered a genocide? Does this situation have the makings of a possible genocide in the future? To answer that, let's look back on the two countries' past and how these tensions have led to similar outcomes of Dominican people targeting Haitians. Upon discovery, control of the island of Hispaniola continually shifted between the French and Spanish until eventually Haiti ended up under French control and the DR under Spanish. The instability in the process of dividing the island created tension between the two countries, and even with the border, the tension increased as time went on. The Haitian government went through a series of dictators, resulting in an unstable government, while the Dominican government stabilized and the economy prospered. Many Haitians, including Haitians of today, crossed the border in the hopes of finding a new job to support their family and lifestyle.
Porque no tiene trabajo en Haití. Por eso que tiene muchos haitianos que fui en Dominicana buscar vida.
In the 1930s, Haitians that crossed the border started working in local sugar plantations that were located along the Dominican border. As the years moved toward 1937, the Dominican Republic fell into a depression that started to affect sugar exports. Rafael Trujillo, the leader of the DR at the time, used Haitians as a scapegoat when addressing the Dominican citizens. Trujillo was glad to report that he came up with a way of fixing this problem, and that 300 Haitians had already been slaughtered in a town near the border. Trujillo continued his pursuit of Haitians and led what ended up being the Parsley Massacre in 1937. It lasted a total of 5 days and killed around 20,000 Haitians. He had soldiers walking around with parsley in their hands, asking all dark-skinned and Haitian-looking individuals to pronounce the herb's name in Spanish. Haitians, because of their French descent, could not rule their R's as Dominicans could to pronounce the word perejil. This inability facilitated the process of pointing out Haitians who, upon discovery, were then killed by the soldiers. In their killings, the soldiers showed no mercy towards women and children. By the end of the massacre, even Dominicans who looked Haitians were targeted and killed. Scholars that later studied the Parsley Massacre later considered the word genocide to be a possible representation as to what happened in 1937. As news of the massacre reached the United States, President Franklin D. Roosevelt demanded that Trujillo apologize to the grieving Haitian families for their loss. However, the Dominican leader never apologized, leaving the massacre unaddressed and causing an increase in tensions between the Haitians and Dominicans across the border. These tensions again have come to a climax with the recent court ruling that left 200,000 individuals stateless. Unable to work, sign up for healthcare, or receive an education, children are being forced into labor to help support the family. Although Dominican law currently states that citizenship is not needed for education, schools still demand to see documentation and bar all that are missing papers. In passing the decision, the government has also opened the door to Dominican citizens who wish to inflict their own justice upon Haitians. Violence has increased to where Haitians are being humiliated and slaughtered on a weekly basis. 95% of Haitians are robbed of their personal belongings and earned money, normally by the Dominican police. In last November, a Dominican elderly couple was murdered in an apparent burglary near the border. Dominicans blamed Haitians and retaliated by forming a mob and killing a Haitian man. Other Haitians who were trying to hide from the mob later went to the police, but the police turned the group over to a group of soldiers who then deported them back to Haiti. As of right now, the instability between the two countries has not been resolved, and it looks as though it will not be resolved anytime soon. Both governments continue to put off meeting and talking of the situation, leaving Haitians and Dominicans still waiting for a final decision. How will this avoidance affect the future of Haitian Dominicans? Does more violence lie in store? Based on history, it seems that the violence may escalate. Like the Parsley Massacre, this court decision and the violence that followed is a result of the unstable relationship between the two countries. If the condition is allowed to continue on its path without any international interference, history may repeat itself and once again lead to Haitian deaths on a much larger scale.